We got the basic mechanics working, but we still have a few issues. For example, if I hold on to the turbo key and let go of the movement key, so the character gets stuck. So now I'm just holding on to the turbo key while I'm letting go of WSD. If I look into the animator, we don't have an option that defines the conditions where if turbo is turned on when move is turned off. We don't have a condition for that. If I take a look at the transition to idle, I want a condition where if just turbo is turned on, I want the condition to be exactly the same as when they're both turned off. So I'm going to go into check turbo. And I want to add an option here because we can't do that in the editor. Something like must require movement. And when we're checking for turbo, if this option is turned on, you must also have either left or right turned on. That's when we turn on turbo. If we don't have the option, then we just turn on turbo like we used to. I'm going to go back to Unity. I'm going to find my states folder. States. And I want to add another scriptable object. Check turbo. It's going to be the same, almost the same as the previous one, except this is going to require movement. And I'm going to check this box. Okay. And I'm going to go to run to stop and replace the previous ability with check turbo with check turbo movement required. And I'm also going to go into the turn, and instead of just checking for turbo, I want the option where we must also have some sort of movement. So now if I click play, okay, I don't think we're going to have the issue of the player getting stuck anymore. Or not. Let me go back to the script. And I want to turn off the turbo if the requirements are not met. Let me play again. Okay. I think everything looks good. I also had some feedback from Reddit. Somebody said the transition between running to, or the transition between turning to running wasn't so smooth. So I'm gonna make the transition smoother here by increasing the graph. And if I play again, okay. Okay, I think I like that much better. I think there's one more issue. If I hold turbo while I'm idle and start running the other way, I think I want the player to immediately go into the direction that I want if you're going from idle to run. So I don't want it to start running and then turn. If you're going from idle, you should be able to go directly into the direction that you want. So I'm going to exit play mode, and I'm going to go to the move forward script. And I want to add an option here, public bool, and I'm going to call it allow early turn. And whenever this option is turned on, we allow the player to turn immediately. So if control, first we have to get the character control. And if the control says move left, then we tell the player to face the left side. Else if, or if control says move right, then we tell the player to face the right side. And this only happens when we have this option. If I go back to Unity, I'm going to go into the run folder. And for running move forward, I want to allow the early turn. I also want to go into the walk folder and allow the early turn for the walk as well. So if I click play, there shouldn't be any problem with walking. But if I try to run to the left side, straight from the idle position, we should be able to do that. Okay, looks good. Now I'm going to try to press A and D at the same time. So we get a little funny reaction when we press A and D at the same time. We should fix this. I want it to look more like going back and forth if you have both of the buttons pressed. But right now, it just goes into one direction even if both A and D are pressed. We've created an early turn for certain animations, but I think I also want another ability that limits the turning ability. I'm going to go into state scripts and create a script that counters the early turn. I'm going to call it disallow early turn. I don't know how else to name it. Just going to go in there. First, let me copy paste from another ability and rename it disallow early turn. Okay, I'm going to look for the animation progress. Control T, animation progress. And I want a public variable here, call it disallow early turn. And I'm going to go back to the script. And I only want this to do one thing. First, get the character control. And we say disallow early turn is true. Now I'm going to press Control T and I'm going to go into the 180 turn. And once you have, and once the character has turned, or once the character gets into the turning motion, I don't think we need this anymore. Okay. I'm going to go to the move forward script And I'm going to say you do an early turn only if this option is turned on, but also when disallow is turned off. I'm going to go back to Unity, and I'm going to go to the 180 turn. Oh no, not here. I'm going to do it in the animator. Running turn 180. Wait a minute. Let me go back and fix something. I don't want this code here. I want the code that clears the disallow here after we make the movement. Let's make sure that we save everything. I'm going to go back to Unity. States. I'm going to create a general ability. Disallow early turn. And I'm going to put this into the 180 turn. So once you make the turn, you shouldn't be able to turn immediately when you're running. And if I click play, so immediate turn works if you're going from idle. Okay, but if you're going from turning, looks like something is messed up here. Okay, I dragged in the wrong ability. This. So we've been turning twice. Let me click play again. Okay, so again, immediate turn works if you're going from idle. But if you're going from turning, I think the transition might have been too long between turn to run. I think I might have to sacrifice a bit of smoothness. It's working as intended. Let me fix one more code. Once you go into the idle stage, I want to say disallow should be false now. Let me go back to Unity and play again. Okay, looks good. I think everything's working fine as usual. Let me make this just a little smoother. I think it's all right. Let me look at it from a bigger screen. It does look a little weird when you press A and D at the same time. But when you have the player trying to go left and right at the same time, I think something like this is okay. Every other normal circumstance seems to be fine. Okay. that'll be it for this video. I'm gonna stop recording and look for some more bugs. Let me know if you have any questions, and thanks for watching.